The sun's coming out for our series finale in Seattle, the first ever Big Ten Conference Series between the Washington Huskies and the Oregon Ducks. Oregon's already claimed the first two games by scorelines of 9-0 and 5-2, and thus they've claimed the series, but that doesn't mean that Washington isn't on the hunt for a W in this Game 3. Thanks for joining us on Big Ten Plus, everyone. Jason Doro here with you. Quick turnaround from Game 2 to Game 3. We wrapped up less than a half hour ago in the second game, which was pushed back to this afternoon because of all the rain that swept through the Puget Sound area yesterday, and thus we had to pick up in the top of the second. It took a little while for the bats to come alive, but they eventually did for Oregon. Katie Flannery hit her third home run of the weekend and helped propel the Ducks to victory in that second game. They got 3 runs in the third, and then the 2-run homer from Flannery in the fifth, en route to the 5-2 win. And this Oregon lineup continues to be deadly at the dish, scoring almost 8 runs per game this season. Flannery, like I said, has done a lot of the damage this weekend. But they really have bats up and down the order who can be game changers. Good crowd on hand here in Seattle. We had almost 1,500 on Friday, and a lot of folks have turned out again on Sunday for what's turned out to be a pretty good day for softball. We're sitting just shy of 50 degrees, not much wind, no precipitation so far this afternoon. Mother Nature finally letting the sun soak up this field at Husky Softball Stadium as the cloud cover wanes in the mid-afternoon. Oregon 26-2 now on the season, while Washington is 20-9. The Huskies came into this weekend having won 14 straight games, and Oregon said, we're going to slam that streak on the brakes. Back-to-back wins for the Ducks, who have only suffered the 2 losses, and now we get this Game 3 matchup between longtime Pacific Northwest rivals. And Sophia Ramuno will remain in the circle for Washington. She ended Game 2 in that same spot, entered for Washington, replacing Stevie Hansen in the 6th inning, and Ramuno would throw 1 2/3 of scoreless ball, not to mention hitless ball, and setting down 5 Duck batters with 3 strikeouts. Pretty clean sheet for her, throwing in the 6th and the 7th of the 5-2 loss for the Dogs. And Heather Tarr says, why not just toss her back out there? So Ramuno is ready to go for Game 3. The Duck batting order is going to look the same as exactly what we saw in Game 2. Top of the order is Kai Lushar in left field, Paige Sinicki at shortstop, Katie Flannery at third. So the mad dash from Game 2 to Game 3 is complete, and our series finale is underway at Husky Softball Stadium. Lushar went 1 for 4 in Game 2. Had a single and a run scored. That was part of Oregon's 3-run third inning, in which they got 4 consecutive hits, including back-to-back doubles. Two balls, no strikes. Melissa Lombardi, Oregon's head coach, has called Lushar a spark plug. Does a great job of getting on base and setting the table for the rest of the lineup. Takes a strike there, 2-1. And Lombardi added that Lushar and Paige Sinicki are really the senior leaders for this team. They have gotten the younger athletes to play their best, and they keep the bar high for everyone on the roster, really setting the standard. 3 balls and a strike now. While Ramuno was perfect earlier today, she struggled a bit on Friday. 3 innings pitched in the start. Gave up 4 earned runs on 6 hits. That pitch is on the outer black, 3-2. But the trouble didn't come for Ramuno until the second time through the order. It was the 3rd inning when Oregon struck big. Grounder to short. Peshek with the throw to first base. And Ramuno gets the first out in game number 3. So it'll be interesting to see what Washington's approach is here with Ramuno. And given that she had the struggles against the Oregon lineup during that second time through. And that's when Washington made a switch in the last game. And we're getting a review here with the bang-bang play at first base. Anytime Lushar puts the ball on the ground, there's a chance she's going to wind up at first base. But that was a pretty good play by Peshek to make the quick throw over to first. And the call is out. Signaled by home plate umpire Mark Corris. He's joined by Aaron Peterson at first base, Tanya Gehrig at third. And the crew that has handled this full series in Seattle this weekend. So 1 down, bases empty. Here's Paige Sinicki, the other senior leader for this Oregon squad. Sinicki from Henderson, Nevada, hit her first 2 career Grand Slams earlier this season, and the first one was just minutes from her hometown in Las Vegas. Part of a fantastic season opening weekend for the Ducks down in Sin City. Ramuno finds the zone. 2 balls and a strike. And Sinicki was solid in game 2. 2 for 4, a couple of singles, a pair of runs scored. And Melissa Lombardi told us before this weekend that the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the lineup are there to drive runs in and bring power to the plate. Boy, have they delivered. All 5 runs in game 2 came from the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. And the cleanup batter, Riley McCoy, drove in a run as well. So this ferocious top of the lineup for Oregon has really carried the load offensively, unsurprisingly. And that's why they've taken the first 2 games in this series. 3-2 pitch. Fluttered foul territory, left side. Easy play for Jane Gardner. 2 down. That brings up Katie Flannery. Washington happy to see her at the plate with nobody on base. Flannery 4 for 7 in the series with 3 home runs and a double. 8 total RBI. And the Huskies will be feeling pretty good if they can face her without any ducks on the pond. A ball and 2 strikes. Flannery, a sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama, waiting on the 1-2. Now the count even. The 2-homer game she had on Friday was the first time in her career she's had a multi-homer outing. 2-2, fouled away. She might want to print out the box score when she gets back to Eugene and hang it up on the fridge after this weekend. Just a spectacular start to conference play. 2-2 into the netting. Huskies playing deep all around. They've got the scouting report at this point on Flannery. Ramuno with the shrug, a deep breath, a 3-2. Down the line in left. Could it be 4 home runs this weekend? Not quite. Well, the Ducks continue to toy with that left field foul pole. They've probably had 3 shots that sailed wide of it by just a foot or 2 throughout this series. Three-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, foul. And I think the lesson learned there is you can't leave it high and tight for Flannery because she's turning on pitches, even if it's a fastball up and inside. She's flipping the hands through the zone and dumping balls into Union Bay whenever possible. On the ground, deep in the hole, backhanded stab by Peshek. She'll make a throw, but there's no chance. That's an infield single for Flannery. 5 hits now on the weekend.
Batting fourth, the first baseman number 24, Riley McCoy.
So a chance for Riley McCoy. McCoy and Flannery both outstanding in this series. McCoy was 3 for 3 in game 1, a triple shy of the cycle. 1 for 4 in game 2 with an RBI double. But Ramuno jumps ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. And the freshman from Agoura Hills, California, digs back in. Leaves that one off the plate. McCoy entered this weekend ranked in the top 6 in the Big Ten in home runs, batting average, and slugging percentage. Was the MVP of the Mary Nutter Classic back in late February. Fouls away the 1-2. She hit 4 home runs and batted .438 during that tournament, while slugging .1313. A top 15 recruit in the nation and a first-team All-American at Oaks Christian School. A really highly touted prospect who has delivered in her true freshman season. She loads up, fouls away that 1-2. And she had some early softball tutelage as well. Her mom, Melissa, played softball at Fresno State. McCoy grew up just west of LA in Agora Hills. Lifts this one in the infield. Ramuno wants it. And that seals the frame. No runs on one hit, no errors, one left. Washington gets their first at-bats when we come back. Taylor Spencer gets the start for Oregon in the series finale. A sophomore from Murrieta, California, pitching on her birthday here for the Ducks, coming in with a 2.0 ERA, making her 8th start, 12th appearance, with a record of 3-1, and opponents batting just 184 against the right-handed Spencer. Meanwhile, Jaden Glab will lead off for the Huskies. Was 1 for 2 in Game 2 with a 2-run homer, delivering the only runs for the Dogs in that contest. It was the 10th home run of the season for Glab, as she looks to give the Huskies a power surge at the plate. Washington went the first 10 innings of this series without scoring, and thus they could really use an offensive spark here in Game 3. The 1-1 from Spencer. A little low. It won't come easy against the sophomore righty. That 2.0 ERA mark is 12th best in the Big Ten. Also 6th in the conference in hits allowed per 7 innings.
Everybody clap your hands.
And Spencer has had some highs, some lows over the last 2 weeks. She shined in the Oregon Classic, throwing 11 innings with only 1 earned runs. Last weekend a bit tougher with 6 earned runs in 4 innings against Oregon State and Abilene Christian. 3-1, rides inside, and Glab takes a 5-pitch walk. So every time that Glab has come to the plate today, she has reached. 2 bases on balls and the 2-run homer. And that's now just the second time in this series that the Huskies have put their leadoff batter on base. Carroll squares to bunt and flares it into the netting. Ava Carroll was solid at the dish in Game 2. 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. The sophomore waits an 0-1. Swings at this one. Glab with the delayed steal, and she gets in safely. Always tricky when the infield is adjusting for a hitter who likes to bunt. Those middle infielders with a long run to get over to second base. And Glab is able to capitalize. Her first stolen base of the season. And now the Huskies with a runner in scoring position. Poked down the line and left, foul. That was also just the second career steal for the Husky catcher, who stands on second here. Nobody out, an 0-2 count for Ava Carroll. Fooled by the off-speed pitch, and it's the first strikeout of the day for Taylor Spencer.
Batting good, the first baseman number 16, Alexis DeBoer.
Now here comes Alexis DeBoer. Has reached base safely in 12 straight games. Her first weekend playing at Husky Softball Stadium. One of the top recruits in the country, who was also just named the D1 Softball National Player of the Week. She batted .538 as the ball scoots away here from the Oregon infield, but Glab will stay put. Batted .538 out in Idaho last weekend with 5 home runs, a double, 8 RBI, and 5 walks. Slugged .1769 during that non-conference tournament and became the first Husky to get National Player of the Week honors since Olivia Johnson back in 2022. 2 balls and a strike. So Husky fans know the power that she can provide at the plate. And you can sense that the fans clad in purple and gold are still waiting for a big eruption at the dish from DeBoer. And those same fans not very pleased with the strike call there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. One down, Glab on second. 2-2 pitch. That one's too far inside. And what Heather Tarr really likes about Alexis DeBoer is how coachable she is. She said DeBoer has an elite softball mind and can immediately execute the guidance that she gets from the coaching staff. Foul tick. Not surprising, being the daughter of a college football coach. DeBoer gears back up with a 3-2 count. Spencer checks the wrist, the 3-2. Sawed off. We'll do it again. And DeBoer with 12 home runs already this season. The single season record at Washington is 25. And things are about to get a lot tougher in conference play, but incredible the mark she's put up in mid-March. A great battle from the freshman. She eventually draws the base on balls, and there are a couple of Huskies on the base paths.
Batting on court. The center fielder, number 25, Sophie Mazzola.
Here's Sophie Mazzola, the freshman from Eureka, Missouri. First pitch on the outer half. Mazzola went hitless in game 2, 0 for 3 at the dish. And still looking for her first hit of the weekend. The 0-1 from Spencer. Mazzola looking for the sneak attack with a bunt, but it dribbles foul. Mazzola comes from an athletic family too. Her sister Mia plays softball at Eastern Illinois. And the Huskies have scheduled a matchup with the Panthers for March 27th. That's right before UW faces off with Illinois in Champaign. So they'll get an extra non-conference game out of that trip to Central Illinois. O2 is bounced in the dirt. Plus, Sophie's mom, Marta, played softball at Southern Illinois. So a lot of connections to the land of Lincoln. Spencer rocks, 1-2, sails that one high. Really solid numbers for Mazzola in her freshman campaign. Batting .325, slugging .481. 3 homers, 14 RBI. She's got a chance here with Huskies on first and second. 2-2 pitch. Just barely misses. And the count runs full. Well, the Huskies have never led in this series. Looking to flip the script here on Sunday. Hit on the ground, through the hole on the right side. Glabs around third. Patman comes up throwing, but it won't be in time. And the Huskies take an early lead in the series finale on the RBI single from Sophie Mazzola. The Dogs with a chance to turn the tables here. They fell behind against Oregon in game 1, wound up losing 9-0. The Ducks put 3 runs on the board in the third of game 2 and never looked back for a 5-2 win. But Washington has the lead here in game 3. Still runners on first and second, and the batter is Alicia Flores. First pitch fastball for a strike. Flores, the 6th-year veteran from Colton, California, just east of Los Angeles. Now we'll get a stoppage here for a conference in the circle. Melissa Lombardi rounds up her Ducks. Even though this Oregon squad is 26-2 and a top 10 team, they're still pretty young. The roster includes 7 freshmen, 13 underclassmen, and 7 of those underclassmen are frequently starting for the Ducks. They continue to recruit through a California pipeline. 10 Ducks are from the Golden State, and no more than 3 players from any other state. But they're playing a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and sometimes coaches want A little more time to chat with those youngsters in situations like this. 0-1, high and outside. And Taylor Spencer is one of those underclassmen. The sophomore who, like Flores, is from the Los Angeles area, who has plenty of experience under her belt for a sophomore after she was named to the Pac-12 All-Freshman team last year. Flores in front of a changeup, 1 ball, 2 strikes. As a freshman, Spencer was top 10 in the Pac-12 in ERA and WHIP. ERA just below 3. Here's her 1-2. Jam shot left side, gloved by Flannery, and both runners retreat to their bags. So Flores makes good contact, but it's straight at the deck third baseman. And now there are 2 away. Tia Durst gets a chance with 2 down. First pitch swinging, she fouls it off. Durst was 0 for 3 in game 2. Walked in her only plate appearance on Friday. Pinch hitting in the 5th inning. A sophomore who is also from the land of Lincoln, in the city of Sycamore. Ball and a strike. Durst was a 2-time Daily Chronicle Softball Player of the Year while playing her prep days in the Chicago suburbs. One outside. Durst also comes from a really athletic family. Her dad, Nathan, played baseball at Wisconsin. Her mom, Holly, played soccer at Aurora University, also in the Chicago suburbs. 2-1 flies inside. Huskies with only 1 hit in this frame. The RBI single from Mazzola. Glab and DeBoer both reached on walks. 1-0 Dogs in the first. And trying to pad the lead, 3-1. Spencer gets it over to run the count full. Spencer ready with the payoff pitch. Hit in the air, right side. McCoy's going to give it a look, but that's out of play. Now, given how many runs Oregon has scored in this series, Washington does not want to end the inning here. They want to capitalize on every threat they produce. 3-2, straight back. Good battle from Durst. Playing in the DP spot here after she started at catcher in game 2. 3-2 pitch. High and outside. And there's a dog at every base.
Batting 7, the shortstop number 22, Riley Bassett.
Coming into this ball game, Spencer had issued 13 walks in 28 innings pitched. So a little more frequent than some other Duck pitchers, but not a terrible mark either. And then with Oregon in some early danger, here comes Lindsey Grind. The Ducks are not playing around here in the series finale. A pitching change in the first inning with the bases loaded. And Riley Peshek about to bat for the Huskies. Well, the numbers for Grind so far this weekend off the charts. Through a complete game shutout in game one, 6 innings and a run rule victory with only 2 hits allowed, 11 strikeouts, 3 walks. And she followed that up by entering late in game 2 and notching the save with 2 1/3 of hitless and scoreless ball. Tacked on 3 more strikeouts, 14 Ks for her this weekend. And they're trusting Grind with getting Oregon out of this jam in the first. Peshek squares to bunt, pulls back. And then the catcher, Rosa, loses the ball as she pump fakes Alexis DeBoer back to third. A little bit of March Madness on the diamond here. And everyone takes a deep breath. The runners stay at their bases. And the corners crashed in for Oregon, so DeBoer thought, I'll get a big secondary lead, but Sinicki then was sliding over to third for Rosa to throw it down, and the ball just slipped out of Rosa's hand as she thought about chucking it down to third. And curious, too, that the Dogs were squaring to bunt. And that seems like it's just intended to throw Oregon off its game, not to actually bunt with the bases loaded and 2 out. 1 ball, no strikes. Rush back pitch. And scratch that. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The first pitch was a strike. Lance Glasso, the longtime assistant for the Huskies, getting an explanation from home plate umpire Mark Corris. He sorted things out now. A ball and a strike. Peshek behind a fastball. 1-2. That one's well outside, but snagged by Rosa. Great job with the catcher's mitt to squeeze it. DeBoer isn't necessarily the fastest player at third, but she's proven she's willing to test the Duck catcher a little bit already. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Lindsey Grind steps into the circle, and she's the Husky slayer again. She gets the Ducks out of a bases-loaded jam, but Washington does cross a run and leads 1-0.
And the Ducks nothing.
Washington with its first lead of the weekend. The Huskies cross a single run in the bottom of the first before Lindsey Grind comes in to escape a bases-loaded jam, and it's 1-0 Dogs as we enter the second. Kedri Lushar leads off for the Ducks. Fouls away the first pitch from Sofia Ramuno. Ramuno gave up a single in the first, but that was it. Retired the other 3 hitters. And is now into her 3rd inning of work today, since she entered in relief the first game of the doubleheader. Corners are in for Lushar as the 2-1 drops low. Kedri's hitting streak did come to an end in Game 2. She was riding a 14-game streak going into that contest. And she went 0 for 2 with a walk, a little pop out on a bunt, and a strikeout. "3-2, flared away." That 14-game hitting streak really picked up steam 2 weekends ago at the Oregon Classic. Lushar batted .714 that weekend, collecting 10 hits just in one tournament. And that included 4 extra base hits. Laser beam foul. It's impressive the turnaround that Lushar has made. As a sophomore, she started 18 games, batted .313, so good numbers a couple of years ago. But last year, she made just 6 starts and hit .192. And she'll strike out here. Ramuno gets the best of Lushar again. And there's 1 out in the second. Well, Ramuno only had 2 strikeouts in the 3 innings she threw on Friday, but she tallied 3 Ks in the 1 2/3 innings that she tossed in Game 2 of the series. And now she's got her first K in the series finale. Des Patman with a small piece, 0-1. And Heather Tarr called Ramuno kind of a hybrid of Danielle Laurie and Taryn Alvello in their pitching repertoire. The stuff that she has, predicated on a strong off-speed pitch. And the Huskies brought Ramuno over from Cal Poly, where she was a 2-time All-Big West selection. Last season, a 2.31 ERA with 160 strikeouts. Just 55 walks and 160 innings of work. Led the Big West in shutouts with 5 and threw 12 complete games. And the Huskies are hoping that she'll be a star here at the high major level. Back-to-back strikeouts. Ramuno fans Patman. Stashed that one on the top shelf. Two down, bases empty. Stephanie Maake swings at the first pitch. And that's all it will take to retire the Duck DP. Jade Bubke makes the grab. A 1-2-3 frame. Ramuno finding her groove. 1-0 Washington in the middle of the second.
Ducks nothing. All right, Dog fans, please join UW softball in welcoming today's teams of the game. First up, let's hear it for East County Little League. And our second team of the game, the Kitsap Ospreys. Today's team of the game is brought to you by BECU, as the official credit union of UW. BECU is proud to support the Husky community. For more information and online resources, visit becu.org, federally insured by NCAA.
Washington with an early lead and a chance to add to it. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Huskies. Jade Bubke, Jean Gardner, and then Jaden Glab to face off with Lindsey Grine. Pretty short start for Taylor Spencer, who was pulled with the bases loaded in the bottom of the first. Grine takes over, and just like Sophia Ramuno, it looks like Grine will be a significant contributor in the circle for all 3 games of this series. Deep drive center field. Bubke around first base, and that one is into the Husky eyes. Bubke's second homer as a Husky. Washington goes up 2-0.
Next up for the Huskies, the third baseman, number 33.
Well, it took almost 10 innings, but the Huskies finally get a piece of Lindsey Grine. Two nothing Dogs as Jean Gardner bats. That was the first home run that Grine has surrendered this season. And the homer that Sokolsky gave up in game 2 was only the third that she surrendered on the year. And these Oregon pitchers do not give up bombs often. But Washington with a couple of dingers here on Sunday and a 2-0 lead in the series finale.
That like little doghouse looking thing out there. That's the subwoofer. Right on top of it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Jaden Glab awaiting on deck. The Huskies will bring the top of the order to the plate next. Flannery's going to take this one and call off Grine for out number 1.
Back to the top of the order for the Huskies, the catcher, number 4, Jaden Glab.
So bases empty, 1 out for Glab, who calls for time and will be awarded time here. Takes a fastball on the inner edge. Glab with the 2-run homer earlier this afternoon in the first game of the Twin Bill. She scored the first run for the Huskies in this contest, walked in the first, stole second, and would come home on an RBI single from Sophie Mazzola. 1-1, a jam shot to center, and it loops down in front of Kedri Lushar. How about Jaden Glab today? 2 for 3 between games 2 and game 3. And technically today,
Next up for the Huskies, the left fielder, number
she has not been retired. The only time she was set down in game 2, that was yesterday in inning number 1. So she's perfect at the plate here on Sunday. First pitch for Ava Carroll. Called a strike on the outer half. Carroll struck out her first time up. But she was pretty good in game 2 of the series, 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. Carroll, a sophomore from Canby, Oregon, went to Canby High School. Was twice named first team All-State. Swing and a miss, 1-2. This is the best part of the Husky order with DeBoer, Mazzola, Flores to follow. And another spot where the Huskies can't afford to leave runners on base, not with the way Oregon is performing at the dish. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oregon scores 8 runs per game. And it's because they do just about everything well. They can hit for power, but they run the bases particularly well, leading the country in stolen bases this season. Runner goes, throw down to second, and Glab's in there safely. She swiped 2 bags today, tripling her career total. The strikeout will hold on Carroll, who's fanned for the second time in this game. But Jaden Glab, the Husky catcher, has gone from 1 career stolen base to 3 just in this game. Alexis DeBoer takes a first pitch fastball low. DeBoer walked her first time up and then was stranded at third as the Huskies left the bases loaded. Lifts this one, foul territory. And the Ducks can't corral it. They were right up against the wall there down the right field line and ran out of room. And there is some action in the Duck bullpen as Lindsey Grind throws the 1-1. Below the knees, 2 balls and a strike. DeBoer batting .361, slugging .867 with 18 extra base hits. Plans on majoring in communication here at UW. Bounces that one toward the Husky dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. DeBoer can play at either corner of the infield, but Heather Tarr is counting on mostly playing her at first base. Tarr said she's still learning a bit over there, but the position is a natural fit for her. Big target, and she provides a calming confidence for the infield. So the showdown between Grind and DeBoer continues. Glab at second base. The 2-2. Good eye from DeBoer on a close pitch. Full count. Outfield deep for Oregon. Infield pretty deep as well. And DeBoer's rung up. Grind nails the outside corner and adds 2 strikeouts in that frame. But the Huskies get the home run from Bubke, and Washington leads 2-0 after 2 innings in Seattle.
All right, Husky fans, in the bottom of the second, Shane Bubke launched a solo bomb, which means it's time for a Husky home run t-shirt toss. Look it up and get down right now if you want a free t-shirt. As well, it is time to announce our Swing Score Solar winner. Congratulations to Mike Shabby. Mike is going home with a flight voucher courtesy of Alaska Airlines, proud partner of Washington Softball. And fans, direct your attention to the video board as we find out the winner of today's Lucky Seat Contest, brought to you by Washington Lottery.
A full day of softball here on Montlake. You're looking at the box score from Game 2. Oregon with the 5-2 victory. The offense energized in the 3rd and 5th frames. 4 straight hits for the Ducks in that 3rd inning, and then Katie Flannery's 3rd home run of the weekend, a 2-run shot in the 5th, propelling Oregon to that win and claiming the series. But Washington has a chance here to salvage a victory in the series finale. And notably for Oregon in that second game, the pitching marvelous once again. The combination of Elise Sokolsky and Lindsey Grind with just 2 earned runs on the 4 hits, 6 total strikeouts. 0-on count for Bracy Rosa. And she gets time called before Ramuno comes home. Now the sophomore from Hawaii digs back in. Launches this one in the air. And the fans bobble it around. No balls, 2 strikes. Foul tick. Rosa gets just enough. Ramuno has set down 4 straight, including a pair of strikeouts. 0-2 just off the plate. Ramuno can ratchet up the velo to the mid-60s. Throws a curveball, rise ball, and a screwball. Her off-speed pitches are particularly strong. Hit sharply past Peshek at short. Rosa with Oregon's 2nd hit of the ball game, and the leadoff batter is aboard in the 3rd. Rosa really blasting that one through the gap. And let's see what the Ducks do with their base runner here in the top of the 3rd. Kaylin Jones at the plate. First pitch called for a strike. Jones, the number 6 recruit in the country, coming out of high school in the Dallas, Texas area. Floats this one, shallow left center. In comes Carroll, can't make the grab. Rosa advances to 2nd on the Texas leaguer from the Dallas native. And the Ducks have the first two batters aboard in the third. And now Oregon has the top of the lineup coming to the plate with Kai Lushar. So Reagan Legg here will replace Bracy Rosa at second.
Now running at second base for Bracy Rosa. The 17, Reagan Legg.
The sophomore from Ladera Ranch,
Back
California.
to the top of the order for the Ducks, the left fielder number 22.
Now in scoring position. Legg often serves as a pinch runner. She's scored 10 runs this season. Lushar squares the bunt, taps it foul. Last year, Legg crossed home 13 times, also 6 of 7 on her stolen base attempts. This is a role that she's plenty comfortable with. Oregon with excellent speed out there as Lushar takes a pitch in the high and outside corner, 0-2. The Huskies will probably still draw the infield in. Lushar could do anything here, even with 2 strikes. Off the plate, 1-2. The older Lushar is 0 for 1 in this game with a ground out. Hits it to short again. Little flip over to third. Gardner's there. Good play by Pescick to get the lead runner. And there's one down in the top of the third. And here's the thing. Oregon still has 2 of the top 3 leaders in stolen bases in the Big Ten on the base paths here. And Washington says we're going to be extra careful with that bunch. So a pitching change. Ramuno comes out. And she'll be replaced by Morgan Reimer. The freshman takes over in the circle with the 2-hitter Paige Sinicki to bat next. First time that Reimer has thrown this weekend. She's making her 16th appearance of the season, holding a 2.51 ERA, a whip of 1.04. Over 61 1/3 innings of work with 78 strikeouts and 14 walks. The true freshman hails from Langley, British Columbia. Has some national team experience. A member of both the Canadian senior national team and junior national team over the years. This past summer, she helped the Canadians secure a spot in the U18 Women's Softball World Cup. During the group stage, she had a flawless ERA and a 2-0 record with 29 strikeouts over almost 15 innings pitched. And the cherry on top, she threw a no-hitter against Australia. The Huskies, of course, have had some other great pitchers from British Columbia in the Langley area. Daniel Laurie, hailing from that same part of Canada. Reimer comes in to face off with Sinicki, and the first pitch dribbled foul down the third base line. Reimer was solid last weekend, earned a pair of wins and a pair of saves in Idaho. Her 3 saves this season are already the 7th most in a single season at Washington. Line drive right at Pescick, who throws over to second, but Bubke can't handle it. The Dogs inches away from doubling off the Ducks and getting out of the third. But on the bang-bang play at second, Oregon stays alive in this frame.
Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Katie Flannery.
So Katie Flannery gets a chance, and this is what Washington wanted to avoid. Katie Flannery at the plate with ducks on the pond. First pitch riser, little high, ball one. Flannery with 4 extra base hits this weekend, 3 home runs. Rolls it foul, a ball and a strike. Flannery's been red hot. Batted .462 over the last 2 weekends. And now this eruption in Seattle this weekend. And she's liked that high and inside pitch. Reimer testing her, but really elevated that one. 2 balls and a strike. Reimer rocks, 2-1. Hit to Gardner, who backhands just wide of the line at third. Almost ending the inning. Instead, it'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flannery 5 for 8 in the series, batting .625. Ready for the 2-2. Got a piece. Jones on second, Kai Lushar on first. The Ducks could not have more speed out there. Hit that one on the screws, but foul. How long can Washington keep Oregon in check for? The 3rd inning has usually been their time. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 as Flannery swings over it and Reimer escapes. Washington clings to his 2-0 lead through 2.5 in Seattle.
In the top of the 3rd for the Ducks. No runs on 2 hits. There's 2 left on base. After 2.5 hours, score remains the Huskies 2 and the Ducks nothing. Re-entering behind the plate for the Ducks, Gracie Rosa. Leading off the last of the 3rd, the center fielder, number 25, Sophie Mazzola.
Sophie Mazzola leads off for the Huskies in the 3rd. With Lindsey Grine in the circle for Oregon, and she misses outside with the first pitch of the frame. Mazzola drove in a run in the 1st with an RBI single, grounding one through the hole on the right side. Each side with 3 hits. Washington able to generate 2 runs off of their trio of hits, though, aided by 3 walks in the 1st inning. And then the solo home run from Jade Bubke. One ball, 2 strikes now for the freshman from Missouri. And Mazzola's fooled on that off-speed pitch, sinking away from the plate. Another strikeout for Lindsey Grind.
Batting second, the right fielder, number 27, Alicia Flores.
Grind's totaled 18 strikeouts now this weekend. Just plowing through the Husky order. First pitch for Flores misses down low. The right fielder is 0 for 1 with the line out to the third baseman. Checks her swing, 2 balls, no strikes. Grind through 1 2/3 now in this relief appearance after replacing Taylor Spencer. And Spencer through the first 2/3 of the first inning wound up with 1 earned run on 1 hit and 3 walks before Grind came in with the bases loaded and struck out Riley Pescick. 2-1. Off the inner portion of the bat and lobbed over the Husky bullpen. Grind ready with the 2-1. High in the air, right field. Patman retreats, then comes in. 2 down.
Next up for
That brings up Tia Durst.
the designated player number 2, Tia Durst.
She walked her first time up after going 0 for 3 in game 2 of the series. Takes a first pitch strike. The sophomore can serve as a utility player here for Washington. Will mostly play catcher throughout this season, but has also spent time at DP as she is in this game. Heather Tarr called her a sponge for information and said she's learning quickly here in her first season as a Husky after coming over from Lakeland College in Central Illinois. 1-1, flared foul. Durst last summer competed in the inaugural season of Northwoods League softball, playing for the Madison Nightmares, and she was named an all-star at the end of the season. Really exciting that the Northwoods League has added a softball league in addition to their baseball league now. Of course, there have been so many fantastic summer collegiate baseball leagues across this country. And Cape Cod League, often known as the premier destination for baseball prospects, but if we get more and more softball leagues cropping up throughout the U.S., that would be an exciting development for the sport. And a nice bobbling catch made by a fan down the first base side there. Well, you heard a little round of applause. But I'd expect that Northwoods League will expand in the coming seasons. The first year only had 4 teams based in Mankato, Minnesota, Madison, Wisconsin, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and Minot, North Dakota. Laser over to third. Flannery has it and throws to first for out number 3. Nice piece of hitting from the Husky DP, but Flannery gloves it at third. A 1-2-3 frame for Grind, and it's still Washington 2, Oregon nothing.
fans, it is now time for the Shuffle Game, presented by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. Let's see if you can follow the ball. Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the official escape for the dogs. Escape is closer than you think.
Mother Nature has blessed us with a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Seattle. 50 degrees, some decent wind coming off of Union Bay and Lake Washington, but no precipitation since our first pitch back at noon. And the cloud cover is easing here in the Emerald City, giving us some nice sunshine cascading across Husky Softball Stadium for the series finale. Part of the order here for Oregon, 4, 5, and 6, starting with Riley McCoy. Rips that one to the right side off the glove of Bubke. And the Duck first baseman is aboard to start the fourth. Back-to-back innings now in which Oregon started the frame with a single. Last time they left runners on first and second. Let's see if they capitalize this time. On a day like this, it truly is an unbeatable place for college softball. I'm sure some folks would like it a little warmer. But when the sun comes out here on Montlake and the bald eagles that nest in the trees beyond the center field fence and circle around the ballpark, boats making in and out of the Montlake Cut, and kayakers and paddleboarders out in the water, this is truly one of the best settings in college sports.
The center fielder number 1, Kedri Luchar.
So Ayanna Shaw runs at first base for Riley McCoy, and Kedri Luchar at the plate. Slaps it on the ground, left side, gloved by Peshek over to second. Bubke's there, they get the lead runner. Luchar safe at first on the fielder's choice. So Shaw only sees one pitch before returning to the dugout after pinch running. And now Des Patman's at the plate. Fouls off a fastball. The senior from San Diego is 0 for 1 in this game with a strikeout swinging. A 1, too tall. Morgan Reimer readies again. The righty throws off the plate. Rather, it was just inside the outer edge for a called strike as Luchar gets back to first base safely. One-two offering off speed, and Reimer gets Patman swinging. Morgan Reimer bringing something a little different to the table here for the Huskies. And she gets the second out of the fourth.
I'm out in the deep DP number 13, Stephanie Maake.
First pitch for Stephanie Maake. The freshman DP 0 for 1 in this game with a pop-out. Huskies have done a nice job neutralizing the power-hitting Maake, who's actually 0 for 6 in the series. Did have a sacrifice fly to cross Oregon's first run in their 9-0 win on Friday, but otherwise she's been shut down. Yeah, it looks like we're getting a refresh on the technology here for Reimer and Glab. Two down, Kedri Lushar on first. 1-0 count for Maake. Runner goes, swing and a miss from Maake as Lushar advances on a ball that was well outside the zone. But they're saying that Lushar left early. Second time this weekend that a Lushar has left early. Last time it was Kai, this time it's Kedri. And the top of the fourth comes to a close. Washington leading 2-0.
All right, fans, at this time, please direct your attention to the video board and help us recognize today's junior announcers. Let's hear it for Wesley and Georgia. Wesley and Georgia will take turns on the mic in the bottom of the fourth to announce the Huskies as they come to the plate.
The PNW Broccoli guys still shaking it in center field, pulling for the Huskies here on a beautiful Sunday in Seattle. Not sure if those are steamed or sauteed or what he did with his broccoli florets, but he's been here since about 11 a.m. dancing his butt off in the center field bleachers. 2-0 Dogs as the bottom of the order comes to the plate. Riley Peshek to lead it off, the 7-hitter. Peshek struck out her first time up in what was a big spot. Bases were loaded with 2 down in the top of the first. Washington had already cashed in with 1 run that inning, but Lindsey Grind came in and fanned Peshek to make sure that the Dogs didn't add any more. Two balls and a strike now for the Husky shortstop. Washington trying to salvage a win here after dropping the first 2 games in this series, and really just an impeccable battle so far for them here in Game 3 for a really young team. The Dogs with 14 underclassmen and 16 newcomers because they have 9 transfers, 7 freshmen. All 16 newbies played at some point during the first 3 weeks of the season. 2-2 from Grind, lifted foul. And head coach Heather Tarr acknowledged that it's been pretty hard not having the same continuity that they're used to here on Montlake. They had to do a lot of onboarding with those 16 new players, plus a couple of new coaches. 2-2. Jam shot, a diving Signicki gets there. The Gold Glove winner putting her body on the line and snaring that one out of the air for out number 1. Well, this is what Paige Signicki is all about. The first ever Duck to claim a Rawlings Gold Glove. Also the Pac-12 Co-Defensive Player of the Year last season. Going Superwoman mode, laying out for the first out. One 1-0 count for Jade Bubke now. Had a solo home run in the second. Just her second dinger as a Washington Husky. And Bubke's one of those 7 true freshmen among all those Husky newcomers. This one could be playable. And it is grabbed by McCoy for the second out. Heather Tarr added that it's been really rare for UW to have this kind of overhaul. They've had so much continuity, and they really haven't seen turnover like this in at least 15 years. But the coaching staff has done their best to navigate it and onboard all those newbies. Tarr also gave credit to Brad Kilpatrick for coming in and bringing a new eye and point of view for the pitching staff. Plus, they brought in Jen Salling, a UW alum who knows this program super well. On the bunt, Flannery fields and throws out Gardner. And that's it for the Huskies in the fourth. A pitcher's duel here in the series finale. 2-0 Dogs with 4 complete in Seattle.
In the bottom of the fourth for the Huskies. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base.
Morgan Reimer back to the circle with 1 2/3 innings of relief under her belt. And she'll see the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, starting with Stephanie Maake. DP gets a small piece of the first pitch. Maake was at the plate last inning, but then Kedri Lushar was called out for leaving first base early on a steal attempt. So now Maake gets a reload. 0-1 tears inside. Ball and a strike. The Huskies have held Ma'ake hitless so far in the series. The Ducks have got their leadoff batter aboard in each of the last 2 frames, though. They just haven't been able to generate runs. They have left 3 runners on base so far in this one. Heather Tarr, meanwhile, said that's what she likes most about the Husky offense to this point, that they've been converting base runners into runs efficiently. She said pitching and defense have been this program's signature over the years, but right now they're still trying to figure out who will be the starting shortstop and trying to find some continuity at a few different positions. Today's shortstop, Peshek, comes up throwing and gets Ma'ake for out number 1. Tarr said with all these newcomers, 16 of them, it took a little while for the camaraderie and the connection to really form, and that really started this spring when they started traveling together. She said a more veteran group might hit start on June 9th. This team had to do it on February 9th. And they weren't able to really rally together and form that community until season got underway and they were traveling around the country together. Of course, this team has been to Arizona and Hawaii and Idaho for their non-conference tournaments. And they've already done some serious travel to start this season. In fact, they've already flown more than 11,000 miles through their non-conference tournaments. 1-1 pitch for Bracy Rosa, misses inside. And that's kind of the nature for teams up here in the Pacific Northwest. You have to travel a fair amount in February and likely in early March. Oregon did host the last 2 weekends, so they were able to stay home in Eugene and deal with a little bit of rain and cloud cover here and there. Following non-conference tournaments in Las Vegas, Arizona, and then, of course, the Mary Nutter Classic down in Cathedral City, California. But the Huskies had to wait 35 days from the season opener until their home opener on Friday. And then the Ducks came in here and spoiled it in a big way. The first time Oregon shut out Washington in Seattle since 2011, so almost a decade and a half. And the Ducks cruising to victory 9-0 in that one. And then squeaking out a 5-2 win in Game 2. And for the first time this weekend, they're facing a deficit here. Getting some significant discussion here between Mark Corris and Melissa Lombardi, who's come out of the dugout to chat with him. And the count for Rosa will be 1 ball, 2 strikes. Following all that back and forth. Fouled into the legs of Rosa, still 1-2. Now Heather Tarr added that really the only opponent that Washington can drive to face is Seattle U. Line drive through the hole on the left side. A frozen rope past Gardner. And Rosa's aboard with 1 out. Well, Washington will basically never play more than 15 home games. I'm sure they wish they could host more here at this spectacular venue at Husky Softball Stadium. First pitch for Kaylin Jones, infield drawn in as the pitch misses low. Bubke will pinch towards second if Rosa decides to take off. Gardner playing about 45 feet up the line at third. 1-0. So Reimer falls behind, 2 balls, no strikes. She hasn't walked anyone today. Through 2 innings of relief with a couple of strikeouts, 2 hits against her. Check swing, called for a strike. Jones is 1 for 1 in this game, 2 for 4 over the course of the doubleheader. Grounded to DeBoer at first. She'll step on the bag and then pump fake towards second. Rosa advances safely on the second out of the inning.
Back to the top of the order, scored number 22, Kai Lushar.
Back to the top of the order. Here's Kai Lushar. Foul tick, strike 1. The Duck left fielder has been set down twice in this game. A couple of ground outs to short. The last one was a fielder's choice, so she did reach, but obviously did not come around to score. To short again. Peshek charges and throws her out. The Husky defense flawless in this series finale. And the Dogs are on top, 2-0 through 4.5 at Husky Softball Stadium.
In the top of the 5th for the Ducks, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Our score of 8, the Huskies 2, and the Ducks of 8. All right, Dog fans, we are halfway through the 5th, and you know what that means. It's time for the 5th inning stretch, and take me out to the ball game.
Washington clinging to a 2-0 lead over Oregon in the series finale. The Ducks have already taken the series, but Washington with a chance to steal one in Game 3. Right now looking to add some insurance. Top of the order here against Lindsey Grine. Jaden Glab will lead things off. She has not been retired throughout today's doubleheader. 2 walks, a single, and a 2-run homer. The last time she was set down, Game 2 was just getting underway yesterday. Fly ball, foul territory, right field, and Patman hauls it in for the first down.
Batting second, the left fielder, number 17, Ava Carroll.
Ava Carroll to the plate. Has struck out a couple of times in this contest. And Lindsey Grine's numbers just get better and better. 3 2/3 of relief now. 1 earned run on 2 hits. Really the only mistake she's made this weekend was the home run she gave up to Bubke, the first home run she's given up all season. And she's totaled 18 strikeouts in this series. And has showed off all of the tools in her toolbox. Her 1-2. A little high. Now, what an addition for Oregon to bring her over from Virginia Tech. 2-2 pitch. Hit deep left center field. And it's gone! Ava Carroll's second home run of the season. Another solo shot for the Huskies. Washington jumps to a 3-0 advantage in the fifth.
Next up for the Huskies, the first baseman, number 16, Alexis DeMoore.
There's the insurance that Washington was seeking. 3 runs on just 4 hits today. DeBoer with a big cut, got under it. Kedri Lushar stumbled in center, but that's not an issue as Jones, the second baseman, brings it in for the second out.
Stepping into the box for the Huskies, the center fielder, number 25, Sophie Mazzola.
Mazzola squares to bunt and fouls it off. Well, it's the newcomers getting it done for Washington. Bubke and Carroll with solo shots. And Sophie Mazzola with an RBI single to bring home Jaden Glab. That was back in the first. When 80% of your players are newbies, of course they're going to find ways to be driving in runs, but those newcomers have been the difference here for Washington. A ball and 2 strikes now for Mazzola. Grind's got her pitch, the 1-2. Got Mazzola ducking out of the way there. Washington proving that Lindsey Grind is in fact human. Her 2-2. Left center field again, but this one will stay in play, and Lushar makes a diving play. Her older sister Kai gives way to younger sister Kedri, who takes extra bases away from Mazzola. That's it in the fifth. 3-0 Huskies as we head to the sixth.
With 5 innings in the books, our score, the Huskies 3 and the Ducks nothing.
See you next home game. Okay. We'll be back. Have fun this week. Good luck. Play well. Leading off the top of the sixth for the Ducks, shortstop number 38, Paige Siddiqui.
Paige Sinicki attempts a bunt here right out of the gate in the top of the 6th, but trickles foul, 0-1. Morgan Reimer, 2 2/3 innings now with a couple of strikeouts. The Husky pitching staff relying on the defense behind them to get a lot of the work done. 0-1 pitch. It's not necessarily a staff that is going to strike out a ton of batters, but they're not going to walk many either. That's why they came into this weekend with the 5.76 strikeout to walk ratio. They don't give up free passes. And there's the jinx. A hit by pitch off the elbow guard of Sinicki. And now for the 3rd time today, Oregon has their leadoff batter aboard. They've yet to make a deposit in the run column, though.
Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Katie Flannery.
Katie Flannery at the plate. 5 for 9 in this series. A single, a double, 3 home runs. Oh-1 from Reimer. Runs on the inner black. 0-2. Reimer dealing with the heart of the Oregon order here. Trying to protect a clean sheet. Reimer's 0-2. Throw down to first, but Sinicki's back in time. Oregon's offense has been limited in certain games this season, but they have not been shut out. That one's rolled into the Husky dugout. Last weekend, they had some low-scoring affairs with Florida State. Wins 2-0 and 1-0. Also dropped a game against Oregon State 5-2. Finally, the Husky pitching staff figuring them out. 1-2 flows off the plate. Count even for Flannery. Nobody out yet, top of the 6th. 2-2. Belted over Peshek into left field. And the Oregon bats will not go quietly. Sixth hit of the ball game. Actually 2 more than the Huskies have. But they've been scattered all over the place. 1 hit in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the 6th. Here's Riley McCoy. He fouls it off her own legs. It can be such a funny sport where you can rack up all the hits you want, but if you don't string them together, they don't wind up counting for too much. 0-1 count for McCoy. Slow roller, Gardner at third, jumps over to the bag and just barely beats Sinicki. That was really close at third, and I think Oregon's still waiting to see if the umpires want to check this one out on replay. The tough part for Gardner, her momentum's carrying her in the opposite direction, so she has to put her foot in the ground and spring back toward the bag to beat the speedy Sinicki there. The call holds, and here's Kedri Lushar. The left fielder is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fielder's choice. One-0 pitch. Reimer blows it past her. And there you see Jing Gardner had not started at the hot corner prior to last weekend. Now she's been there 6 straight games. Lushar swings over the 1-1. The Huskies have been without their typical starting third baseman, Giselle Alvarez, since March 1st due to a back injury. 1-2 misses. Gardner's been great at the hot corner, but Washington would love to get Alvarez back, especially as they work their way into Big Ten Conference play. Two-twos lifted foul. Alvarez is one of those 4 returning letter winners for Washington. Started 24 games as a freshman last year. Led the team with a .343 batting average. Two-two for Lushar. Gardner will give it a look, but that's out of play. Heather Tarr even said that Alvarez has the potential to be one of the best third basemen she's seen at Washington. She's only a sophomore, so a lot of time left to go, but that's a player that Washington really needs in the lineup to be at their full potential. 2-2 up the middle, it squirts through. Flannery holds at third base. McCoy stays at second. On the seeing eye single from Kedri Lushar that loads the bases full of ducks. So a hit by pitch, a single, the fielder's choice. And now this ball that is punched through the middle of the infield, putting 3 ducks on the pond for Des Patman. Once again, Heather Tarr and Brad Kilpatrick are going to make the most of this visit to the circle. Tarr's going all the way out to the edge of the infield to speak with Carroll, Mazzola, and Flores, the 3 outfielders, while Kilpatrick conferences with the infield.
How about the right fielder, number 28, Des Patman.
Des Patman to the dish. She struck out in her last 3 plate appearances, following a couple of walks. Reimer misses outside. Flannery on third, McCoy on second, Lushar on first. Reimer barely misses there. 2 balls, no strikes. Stephanie Maake on deck. Still some big bats even at the bottom of this Oregon order. Rolled foul. Patman entered this game batting .329. Oregon with 9 batters hitting .300 or better this season. Swings over a changeup. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Patman's got plenty of pop, 10 extra base hits, 6 homers. Two-two pitch. Up high. Reimer can't miss this time. Three-two pitch. Fouled straight back. We'll do it again. The number 8 team in the country, trailing by 3 in the 5th. Strike that the 6th here. Only 1 out. 3-2 pitch. Deep down the line and left. And it's foul. Oregon's in disbelief. That ball was so high, it could have been lost in the clouds here. Someone's going to find that thing washing up to the shores of the Union Bay Nature area, because it probably carried all the way into the lake. We'll do it again at 3-2. Cold strike 3. Reimer gets the K. 2 down in the 6th. Bases still loaded. Stephanie Maake at the plate. Laces it back up the middle. Flannery comes home. McCoy's around and scoring. Lushar scores from first base. A 3-run quack attack. Maake brings the full flock home. And we're knotted at 3 apiece. What could have been the most deflating moment for Oregon is followed by a tremendous response. Inches away from a grand slam to take the lead. Patman strikes out, and then Maake blasts one right up the gut, all the way to the wall, and we're tied up in Seattle.
Now running at second base for Stephanie Maake, number 25, Presley Lawton. All right, and the catcher number 2, Gracie Rosa.
Gracie Rosa swings at the first pitch, 0-1. Presley Lawton has pinch run for Maake at second. A freshman from Medford, Oregon. Count even. Well, the Husky energy in the crowd has been zapped after that 3-run double 1-1 pitch. Foul tick. And now this game hangs in the balance again. Washington did keep Oregon off the scoreboard for 7 straight innings if you go back to game 2. A mighty impressive stretch from the Husky pitching staff, but you knew eventually the floodgates would open up. The Ducks are able to break the dam, and they've crossed 3 here in the 6th. Oregon with twice as many hits, up 8-4 in that column. 2-2 pitch. And that one flutters into the Husky bullpen. Rosa's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Fouls that one away. The freshman Lawton representing the go-ahead run. Huskies have 5, 6, 7 due up in the bottom half of this frame. Reimer's got her pitch, the 2-2. Another foul ball. Each game in this series has gotten better for Washington. Went down in a lopsided affair Friday. 3-run ball game in game 2. Tight one in game 3. As Reimer catches Rosa looking. Another backwards K. And the inning is closed, but Oregon knots us up at 3 apiece in Seattle.
Hey fans, don't forget, it is Sunday Fun Day here at Husky Softball Stadium, and that means kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game. But first, join the Husky Softball team right outside the stadium for post-game autographs. Then, come right back into the stadium to run the bases. Fans, be sure to join us here at Husky Softball Stadium for Food Truck Friday. This coming March 21st at 7 p.m. as the Dogs take on Rutgers in the first game of a 3-game Big Ten series.
Tie ball game going to the bottom of the 6th. And what a contest it's been. Both pitching staffs fantastic. And Lindsey Grine carrying the torch for Oregon after Taylor Spencer was removed following just 2/3 of an inning. And Grine has gone 4 1/3 in relief with a couple of earned runs off a pair of solo homers. Meanwhile, for Washington, the dynamic duo of Sophia Ramuno and Morgan Reimer through 6 innings in the circle. They had shut out the Ducks until the top half of this frame when Stephanie Maake came through with her first hit of this series, a 3-run double, which she clobbered right up the middle, clearing a bases-loaded situation and locking this game at 3 apiece. 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Huskies. Alicia Flores leads off. First pitch from Grine outside. And the Husky dugout spent some time in between innings trying to rile up the hometown crowd here. Needing a go-ahead run in the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 breaking ball misses inside. Flores is 0 for 5 during this doubleheader. But if we learned anything from Stephanie Maake, it's that you can break out of a slump in a hurry. Called strike in her half.
Everybody clap your hands.
Flores has hit the ball well, lined one out to third. Also hit a deep fly ball to right. This one's at the third baseman Flannery, who backhands just above the pillow and makes the throw across the diamond. Nice play by Flannery to get the first down.
The designated player number 2,
Tia Durst to bat next. 0 for 1 in this game with a walk and a ground out to third. Grine rocks. 1-0. Jam shot. Spinner for Sinicki, who moves the glove to catch it off an awkward bounce and then throws out Durst for out number 2.
Up next for the Huskies, the sixth opportunity to Riley Pescic.
Here's Riley Pescic. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line out to short. Off the end of the bat, a little looper that falls in. Drops in front of Crescio out there and right. And the Dogs have a base runner in the 6th. That's the same substitution that the Ducks have often made in right field, replacing Des Patman with Elise Crescio. So she's in the outfield now with the 2 Lushars. Here's Jade Bubke. The second baseman homered in the second inning, a leadoff homer in that frame, giving the Huskies a 2-0 lead at the time. Ava Carroll's solo shot in the 5th gave them a 3-0 lead, but that advantage has evaporated. 0-1. Back up the middle. Another looper falls in. Bubke punches it off the end of the bat. Back-to-back base knocks. And the Huskies with a little 2-out rally in the 6th. And now we'll get a pinch hitter.
Now batting in the 9th spot of the order for the Huskies for Jing Gardner.
Charity Seva Atasi comes in place of Jing Gardner. But not until Melissa Lombardi gets a word in with Mark Corris and Aaron Peterson. So a big spot for Seva Atasi. Batting .254 this season, slugging .408. A fifth-year player from Auburn, Washington. And Charity has 3 home runs this year, a couple of doubles, 8 RBI. And now 1 ball, 1 strike count. And she's a power hitter who can hit to all fields. Brings a lot of experience to this team after transferring over from Oregon State. Lines this one to left. Peshik's around third. The throw's not in time. The Huskies survive the 6th inning heart attack and retake the lead on the RBI single from Seva Atasi. Clutch hitting from the pinch hitter, Charity Seva Atasi. Bringing in the go-ahead run. Better yet for the Huskies, they now have the top of the order at the plate. The thing is, they'll have to face some of the best bats for Oregon in the 7th. The Ducks have 9, 1, and 2 due up. And we'll get a pitching change. We'll step aside. Bottom of the 6th in Seattle. Huskies back in front, 4-3.
The decision on that, number 18, Elise. Back to the top of the order for the Huskies.
Elise Sokolsky is back for Oregon. Started game 2 of this series, which commenced yesterday, finished today. Now she enters in the bottom of the 6th with runners on first and second, 2 out. Jaden Glab at the plate. First pitch misses inside. During today's twin bill, Glab is 2 for 3. A single, a 2-run homer, a couple of walks. Takes that one for a strike. Huskies have done all their damage here in the 6th with 2 outs. Peshik singled to right. Bubke singled up the middle. And then the pinch hitter, Charity Seva Atasi, lined one to left to give the Huskies the lead. So it's Bubke at second. Jing Gardner came back in after Seva Atasi pinch hit for her. So Gardner's at first base. 1-2 from Sokolsky. Swing and a miss. It's dropped by Rosa. Glab will run down to first, but it's too late. as Rosa gets her. And that's the inning. The Huskies get the one run they need. 4-3, Dogs in front as we go to the 7th.
Our score, the Huskies 4 and the Ducks 3.
Washington with a one-run lead going into the top of the 7th in Seattle. Oregon has already derailed the Huskies' 14-game winning streak. But now the Huskies have a chance to hand the Ducks just their 3rd loss of the season. Oregon 26-2, ranked number 8 in the nation. They have 9-1-2 due up, and Kaylin Jones hits one sharply to first base, snared by Alexis DeBoer on one bounce, and she takes it to the bag for out number 1. Second time today that Jones has grounded out to DeBoer. And now we'll see the top of the Duck order. All 3 Oregon runs came in the 6th, and scoring on a bases-clearing double from Stephanie Maake. Little chopper, back to Reimer. Quick throw to first, in time. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Lightning quick work from Morgan Reimer. She gets the flash, Kai Lushar. And the Ducks are down to their last down. Here's Paige Sinicki. 0 for 2 in this game with a hit by pitch. That one clips the inner edge. If not for that double that Reimer gave up to Maake, this would be a near perfect performance for her in the circle. Ripped foul, and the Ducks down to their last strike. And the fans rise to their feet in Seattle. Reimer ready with an 0-2. Blasted left center field. The diving attempt from Carroll comes up just short. Sinicki jogs into second base with a 2-out double, and the tying runs in scoring position. It was all or nothing for Carroll in left field there, trying to seal the game with a leaping grab. Instead, that tying run's now at second base. Katie Flannery at the dish. First pitch outside. Flannery is 6 for 10 in the series. 3 home runs this weekend. Same spot from Reimer, 2-0. And Reimer seems like she's pitching around Flannery here. Careful with her spots. Riley McCoy on deck for the Ducks. 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle. Three balls and a strike. Sinicki on second. 3-1. And Flannery walks. So now the go-ahead run is on base. It wouldn't be Oregon and Washington without a little bit of drama. Here's Riley McCoy. Chases a pitch upstairs. 0-1. McCoy's 1 for 3 in this game, following a 3 for 3 performance in game 1. Oh-1 delivery. Fouled straight back. And once again, the Ducks are down to that last strike. Huskies seeking revenge, having already dropped 2 this weekend. Reimer's 0-2. Fouled off into the face guard of McCoy. Reimer went chasing after it, but that's indeed a foul ball. Sinicki and Flannery return to first and second. Tying run on second, go-ahead run on first. Reimer rocks and fires. Belted foul. Another ball that's going to wind up pretty wet. The Ducks have tugged probably almost 10 balls over the fence, but foul down the left field line this weekend. Another 0-2. Bounce back up the middle. Reimer's there, throws to first, and Washington takes the win in the series finale. The Huskies top the 8th-ranked Ducks with a 4-3 victory in Seattle. Reimer slams the door shut with the go-ahead run on the base paths. And Washington is able to salvage a win in Game 3. The Huskies improved to 21-9 on the season. The Ducks take just their 3rd loss this year, 26-3 in 2025. Notable from this game, Washington adds 1 run in the 1st, 2nd, 5th, and 6th innings. Solo homers from Ava Carroll and Jade Bubke before Riley Peshek scores in the 6th. A go-ahead run off a pinch hit RBI single from Charity Seva Atasi that put Washington back in front, following a 3-run double from Stephanie Maake in the 6th, which brought us tied going into the final frame. What a series. Oregon dominant in Game 1. Wins fairly easily in Game 2, 5-2, and then Washington exacts a little revenge in Game 3 by beating this 8th-ranked Duck squad. A big shout out to the communications managers from these 2 programs, Greg Walker and Haley Rowe, for helping get us all set for the broadcast this weekend. And thank you to our team back in the studio and behind the cameras doing all the hard work here on Big Ten Plus. Long weekend between the baseball and softball diamonds in Seattle, and we closed it out with a real thrill.